Hello, my name is Donnie Childs and I am the Health Director for the Otoe-Missouria tribe. And welcome to our first edition of Hinwarujewi To, Let's Eat. Today we will be preparing corn soup and fry bread with our special guest and Otoe descendant, Addie Jo Tohee.
Hello, my name is Addie Jo Tohee and today I'm preparing corn soup and fry bread. Okay, what we have here is a rump roast, and I cut it up at least 1 inch square cube. This right here should make 12 servings. This is a 2-pound rump roast. And some people use chuck roast too. You know, it depends on how you like it. I use chuck roast because it's more tender and it cooks faster. And then there's some people that use pork steak and pork roast. It just depends what kind of meat that you would prefer. It takes about 2 hours to cook corn soup because of it's not so much of the corn, it's the meat that, you know, how much you want your meat to be tender. And that's why it's always good to do a inch cube, because it just cooks evenly all the way around. So we have this, and we'll place it in this 4 quarts of water in the saucepan. And then this right here is the copse corn. Copse corn, this is 2 cups right here. So we're going to put 4 cups of copse corn into the pan. And then we'll give it a little stir. Some people put lid on there, but you really don't have to. It just depends how you, the lid will make it steam up and cook faster, but I always just leave the lid off myself, but if you want to put a lid on, you can. Okay, that's the starting of your corn soup. I'm going to do the fry bread now, and this is 8 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. Some people use self-rising, and I use all-purpose. Some people call it old school, old school way. Okay, that, and then baking powder. This is 3/4 cups of baking powder, which is 9 tablespoons of baking powder. Okay, the salt is I use 2 tablespoons of salt. And the secret is, my secret is, I always just mix it really, really good. Mix all the ingredients really, really good in there. The flour kind of gets warm from your hand, from being warm, and it makes that, I always think it makes the dough better when you get it going. This bowl right here is a 6-quart bowl, and this right here will make 20 pieces of fry bread. Okay, the water is higher than lukewarm. It's got to be warm, and this is 4 quarts of water. And sometimes you don't have to use all that water. Just depends on how you like your dough. Some people like it, thick. Some people like their dough a little bit light. And another secret that I use is that I don't knead it too much, because that's what makes it real, the dough hard. And when you fry it, it makes the bread hard. To me it does, not to everybody. Everybody does their own little way of making fry bread. But this is the way I make it. Okay, I'll let this sit for an hour. Cover it up with washcloth towel. Let it sit for an hour, and then you have this dough is ready to go. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to tell you about this corn soup. Now, some people put salt and pepper in it, and I put it on. I start this out medium heat, and then it'll start coming to a boil. You can put it on high, and then about maybe an hour, let it boil at medium. Put it up to high for about 30 minutes, and then cut it back down to medium and let it simmer. And then that's what makes your meat tender as well. Now we're making the fry bread balls, getting them ready to fry. Here's the dough. I'll let it sit for an hour. Then you sprinkle the flour. Now, a lot of people don't do this, but I do. And then you I've been doing this so long that you kind of just, I use my fingers as a measure, and just kind of get it like that, and you put it down, pat it out 4 times, fold. Always sprinkle a little flour on there, and then there's your little line, my little lines right there to tell. You know what? This is about a 3-ounce dough right there. Same again. And it depends on what kind of bread you're making too, because some people call them soup breads, like for fry bread. Soup bread and then taco bread. And then taco bread would come about right here to my hand. Now it's soup bread. Now we're going to fry the fry bread. These little balls that I got, you're just going to smash them down to the size of your palm, and then pull them out like that. Now this is a roasting pan, one of my favorite pans, and it's about a 8-quart pan. And the vegetable oil that I use is halfway in there. It fries it real good when it's halfway like that. A lot of people use shallow, but I try to use my pan and just put half oil in there. Right around the edge of the bread, you'll see it kind of turning brown. That's kind of like your guide. I've been doing this so long that I kind of just know already. But when it's just kind of, that color right there is the color that, is if, that's the color. If you want it that color, then turn it over or darker. Some people like their bread real crispy, and they kind of let it fry a little longer. There is probably about 3 breads that could go in there. The reason why I made that one little bread bigger, that would be like when people make Indian tacos. That's like an Indian taco size right there. A little bit bigger, and you just kind of put an indention in there where you can put your chili. But this is what a lot of people call soup bread. And you just kind of pick it up and check it how you like that color. And you can always tell when they're done. Whenever it pops up like that, gets fluffy on top, it's usually done on that side. So you get it, and I just kind of hold it up and shake it a couple times, get that grease off, and put it there. Put the little indention towards the other bread, that way the grease will come, it'll run out. And then the same way with that one. You just watch the edging of it. I have an aunt, she's really cool. And she just loves fry bread, but she likes it real crispy. So she always says, watch the edges where it's dark. But this bread is fluffy. And the secret to that is the longer you let it sit, the more fluffier it is. I let mine sit quite a bit. And while we're waiting on that, I'm going to stir the soup over here. I also put salt and pepper in there. A little bit of salt and pepper. And then sometimes you just got to watch the grease or oil. You got to adjust stove cooking fry bread. You got to adjust this quite a bit. A lot of people do it outside and they adjust the wood, you know, of how a lot of women like to cook their fry bread outside, and they adjust that wood to what they like it at. Sometimes it gets too hot, sometimes it's not hot enough, so it's kind of like the stoves like this, electric stoves. You kind of got to watch it. Sometimes they get too hot because the pan's right on top of the heat. Most of the time, when I'm getting the oil ready, I'll put it on medium, and then on high heat. It should always stay on high heat on stoves, and then you could regulate that from high to low, however you want it, however it's cooking your fry bread. You know, some people use in their dough, they put a hole in the middle. And the reason for that is I really don't know, but I've seen a lot of people do that. My grandma's done that, you know. I seen a picture with this Otoe lady on there sitting on the ground making fry bread, had a hole in it. But I just never did. I just made a little indention because when I first make fry bread, it was for Indian tacos. And I always made the little indention in there so you could put the chili and all your fixings on it like that. But there's a lot of people that do put a hole in the fry bread. And I just like to say that I had a lot of teachers. My grandma, a lot of Otoe women taught me how to make fry bread. And I just like to say that when I was a little girl, I always wanted to cook at feasts and at events and stuff. And as I got older and practicing, I've cooked for many people and did a lot of fry bread for many people. And I'm blessed. I think it's a blessing to have this talent. And there's a lot of us in the tribe that do. There's a lot of fry bread makers that have the same blessing. Addie Jo Tohee, the fry bread maker. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you.
And that wraps up our first edition of our cooking demonstration with Addie Jo. We'd like to say thank you for all of her work and her help today. We'd also like to invite each of you back for more cooking demonstrations with our diabetes coordinator, our dietitian, and other Otoe-Missouria tribal members cooking their traditional meals. Thank you and aho.